let's get into some brief Rodney Hinton Jr. updates. So, what's going on with his commissary? Is it maxing out? Is it maxing out? Let's take a look at this. So many people are putting money on Rodney Hinton's books. It keeps maxing out his commissary. Rodney Hinton Jr.'s commissary has been getting maxed out or maxed by people after he was charged with aggravated murder for using a vehicle to hit an officer one day after his son was after running from Ohio cops. Let's see what this looks like. Deposit denied. Commissary deposit. Sorry, the inmate has reached the deposits limit. The limits are 50 deposits, totaling a max of 200 in a 14-day period. So this isn't a bad thing, people. When I first briefly saw the headline come across my desk real quick, I was like, uh-oh, they doing him dirty. They treating him different. They cutting off his water. This ain't that. This ain't that. So everybody calm down. Once again, this is a very tense situation, very serious situation that once again is dividing the country or culturally creating divisions in people, right? And it's going to get worse. Watch. But I see two things here. The first thing I see is that appears to be the case for any inmate. All right? Any inmate. And if any inmate that's in that particular system that he's in right now, their system reacts like that, then we can't beef about it. All right. That's the first thing. The second thing is you got to remember the difference between being in there versus being out here, outside in the world. Okay. We're not dealing with the same prices. If you need a toothbrush or a tube of toothpaste and you go to the supermarket today, like you see how everybody be joking about eggs. They're like, yo, eggs, a carton of eggs, 12 eggs might run you about $50 these days. You know, it's not the same in there. All right. It's priced different. Even it's bullshit the way that the systematic thing about how people even earn a living in there. But you even see the jobs that they have and people that have paid jobs in jail. Like, look at the wages. It's so cheap, right? But commissary isn't priced like you and I walking through the mall right now. This type of stuff that people are purchasing in prison. So I guess that's a positive. And if his shit is maxed out, he should have access to being able to purchase all the things that hopefully would help anybody in a prison situation keep them comfortable. So him being maxed out for anybody that is trying to support him would be a good thing. Okay, would be a good thing. Um, Yet still, the facing of the death penalty, that is the biggest news that we discussed, and we got into a little bit more detail about that yesterday. And I saw this one as well. I do want y'all feedback before we get into Trump. I do want y'all feedback on this. So let's check this out. We don't need too much. Shout out to who is this? The Hip Hop Lab. Shout out to y'all, man. So, what's the first video we did on Rodney Hinton Jr.? I spoke about my human side opinion, which was his possible rights and his possible wrongs, right? And even that can change based on the developments. I don't want to stick my flag in the ground 1000%. I want to leave this door open because details can, you know. But I spoke about the rights and the possible wrongs in the situation. The second stream we did, we got into the footage of him being processed, and we got into the weeds of that. We did reaction to that, and some of that footage has this clip in it. And when I first saw this, while we was going through that video, was everybody's in there quiet, and just going through the regular process. He's quiet because he's in the state that he's in, but they're all quiet, possibly because the cameras is running. How you think we got this footage? Everybody's got cameras on and whatnot, and they know this is a high profile situation. The last thing you need is reports coming out that the authorities is in there abusing him or putting hands on him or mistreating him, or while they taking him in and out of elevators, throwing him up against the walls and inside and everything, and playing four corners and all that. Y'all know corners. Y'all know that game. But it's the last thing they did. What was it like the chief when she took the podium? What did she say? She said, "I need everybody to please let the judicial process play out." What she was doing was trying to throw calm out there, because this is the type of shit people could riot over. You could get some Rodney King LA riot shit happening behind situations like this that cause racial divide in this country. So they're putting that out there. We need everybody to please let the system be the system. Everybody chill out. Don't go out there and wild out, people. We don't need more crimes and all types of shit turning up behind this, right? So I don't expect it could happen. You got ignorant police, of course, but I wouldn't expect a scenario like this for him to be in there getting beat on by these cops. If you're a superior ranking officer in there, you telling them like, yo, don't put your fucking hands on that guy. We don't need that type of profile in here right now. We will get in a lot of trouble behind this shit. All these different activists and publics, they'll come out. Next thing you know, the political pressure of us being in here beating on this man will be applied so heavy, your ass will be forced to a fucking resignation. All right. So everybody do what you're supposed to do behind this man. That's the type of conversations that these cops is probably having. Now, specifically about a black cop being in there. I mean, I do respect the caption here. Once again, a black officer receives praise for not leaving Rodney Hinton alone in the elevator. If you listen to what I just broke down from the political nature of how cops even need to move around this situation, right? This type of shit that goes to the mayor, the president, you really can't fuck with him in there. You can't have that go public because the world will run wild with that. So I don't fully believe that that black officer right here is there to protect him from other white police. The black officers and the white officers, they all gang together. Okay. Let's not all of a sudden start acting like the black police and the white police is separate. The black police act this way and the white police act that way. No, they're all brothers. All right. They all have loyalty to each other before anybody else. We had somebody in our chat, what was it, on yesterday's stream or the day before? Somebody was just like, shit, the black police be on that Boys in the Hood shit. They be acting the worst. All right. So I don't believe that this was the case in this moment right here. I think it could have been just by coincidence. A black police officer in there as well. If Rodney Hinton started popping off right now, what you think he would do? He'd be with his knee on Rodney Hinton's back, just like everybody else in there. All right. It could have happened by chance. It could have happened for perception, right? So knowing that videos like this, let's be real about how the world really works and how they be trying to pull wool over people's eyes. All right. What is allowed to go out publicly? Why is this video even out? This is what, from an officer's body cam? Yeah, it says body 4. Body 4. Why is this video out? This is how they play with us. So captions like, I'm so on the side now if this caption is wrong. This is how they play with us. So get y'all out there to, like what the chief said on the podium, everybody keep calm and create posts like this and captions like this. Look, there's a black cop in there. Let's put that clip out. Get the fuck out of here. No. Everybody knows that people will pick that up and see this and make those type of conclusions. This is how media is used. This is how that whole system, government, police, and it's all tied in, So let's not jump out the window and feel like, oh, there's people that's trying to do him a favor. No. You gotta think deeper, people. Now, speaking of shout out to Checks and Balances. The Checks and Balances chat, because on yesterday's stream, what I did was I mentioned, hey y'all, what's up with that Trump push of anybody that takes the life of a police officer, they would be facing death penalty, right? So Checks and Balances threw this clip out there. Let's talk about it. Let's Let's pull it up. For anybody that didn't know that this was happening behind the scenes and what Trump was pushing for.
We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
Look how half the room is not applauding. Half, split in half.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and 1-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, so we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
So, how do y'all feel about that? Of course, if you're that young lady, if you have family members that are on the police force, if you are a police officer, if you have any ties, friendship, relation to a police officer that lost their life in a line of duty, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you probably are in full support of Trump proposing that. In what scenarios would you be adverse to that law? Well, you don't know what, because the law would just be a general placement, right? There's pros and there's cons to almost anything, including that. I have no ambitions of taking a police officer's life. That shit does not affect me, right? Or mine. Nobody in my circle is going to be taking the life of a police officer purposefully, right? It would, God forbid, it would have to be an accident or some shit like that. Here's where laws like that, to me, just can't be a blanket. The devil always needs to be in the details. Like, you don't end up in a scenario like Rodney Hinton Jr. or maybe somebody else and then fall into this automatic clause like that. I believe you still would deserve your day in court, and the details should be analyzed, period. Because what can happen is, now what if it was what if it was an accident, right? If it was an accident, you want me to fall into a category of death penalty? I'm pretty sure most of us would say, damn, an accident, right? Like, even if I do have to serve time behind that, a death penalty, and it was an accident? Now, are there scenarios where it could not be an accident and you feel like somebody doesn't deserve the death penalty? I can tell you one. Self-defense. I know it's a touchy topic sometimes, and there's a lot of gray area for us and for them is black and white. And it's fucked up because a lot of us have the belief that self-defense is self-defense. I want to be able to defend my life, my health, for me and mine, regardless of who the fuck you are. That shouldn't matter. If you are my father and I wake up one morning and I realize, oh shit, my father's attacking the family, right? If I'm on that, I should be able to defend him. If he's in the process of maybe trying to take your mother's life, your sister's life, your little brother's life, and you take his, you want to see that person put in jail? Self-defense. I could take my father's life in self-defense, but I can't take a police officer's life in self-defense. That's where it doesn't add up to certain people, right? So I think life is precious, and I don't want to see anybody have their life taken from them. I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care if you're a civilian. I don't want to see anybody have their life taken from them. You only get one chance at life. But if you lose your life in self-defense, there's a lot of people that don't feel a way towards, for example, little Tim and King Von's situation because they're like, King Von initiated that. He came out and he popped on Quando Rondo, and his friend came out and shot King Von while defending his friend. And why the hell do you think Lil Tim got let off and he's walking around as a free man right now? Okay? So what if that was a police officer or off-duty police officer or plainclothes detective? Because you get caught like that too. What if a plainclothes detective walks up on you doing some type of investigation in the hood, and he acts like he's copping up, but he walks up on you and he makes a mistake thinking that you're involved in a situation, and you and him get into it, and he's aggressive and he's physical, and you defend yourself, and he ends up losing his life, right? You just gonna jump out the window when we find out and say, oh, but he was a detective. I didn't know that. And to certain people, it wouldn't have mattered because I'm supposed to be able to defend myself no matter who you are. No matter my mother, my father, a police officer, the president. If you're in the process of trying to hurt me or mine, or even worse, trying to take my life or my people's life, I need to be able to defend myself, whether you are a cop or not. So those are examples where I feel like whether Trump gets this passed or not, the devil still must always remain in the details.